Acting bad, but somebody about to do it. Put the foot up on the gas. But somebody about to do it. Make sure this is right, because they be saying this thing don't be right. I got a couple, about an hour and a half now. I got on so late. An hour and a half of bleed. All right. Couple minutes of playtime on this thing. Second babe, but somebody about to do it.
What up, my boy?
Why my volume always low? That's crazy.
It's always low. It's alright.
I hear you. Let me get all my peoples up there.
Now, before we get into any of this crazy shenanigans, my boy, I'm gonna ask you a question. What is the difference between a legal definition and a medical definition?
You done learn something new again today, son?
No, this is something.
You done learn something new again today, son?
No, this is something that's old. That's being brought up because there's this woman here in Georgia who is classified legally as brain dead, but she is not medically classified
Interesting.
because her body function still functioning. Her heart, her lungs, all of her circulatory, everything's still functioning. She's just in what is classified as an unwakeable state or a coma, right? The legal definition of it is that she can't wake up. So they classify her legally, not medically. And this is the part that makes me want to just like start slapping motherfuckers because they're stupid.
Wait, so legally and medically?
They're two separate things.
Why you be so angry
medically
for?
meaning because I'm tired of ignorance.
You
I'm
might have
tired
to
of
you might have to
shit.
take you another break off TikTok or something. You letting these people get to
It
you.
ain't even TikTok. This is what's
That's
going
funny. I
on
just
in
literally made a
Georgia.
video that I'm posting right now that's dealing with how people.
I'm waiting for it because it's probably a banger, just like the last one.
Yeah, about to try to stay consistent. Hey man, that one video I got, that thing gave me about. I almost got almost $70 off that. I'm like, boy, I'm about to be posting like
Well,
crazy.
I want you to post
I'm
that.
at least do 3 videos a day now. I was gonna do 2 videos. I'm doing 3 now. That's all. I might do 4. I had to look up how many shit do a day. I'm like, that's why I post my
Um,
other.
on average, you're supposed to do about 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You know what I'm
talking
saying? But the point that I'm making is this woman is still alive from a medical standpoint. She's just in a deep coma.
about.
Okay, she's pregnant, and all these women on the internet are losing their minds, not knowing the difference between the medical definition and the legal definition, because those are two separate things. And it just drives me absolutely
Just
like,
don't educate her.
well, I apologize for the ignorant sounds you hear. Those are just some rice burners going past me as I'm walking up to go to get me something to eat from the American Deli down the street. But nah, like, my point being is, bruh, at what point are we going to stop allowing ignorance and stupidity to run everything?
That's impossible.
No, it's not.
That was a ignorant statement. That's all right. That's not even my job on here, man. I let people stay them. The ones that's willing to change, that's gonna change. I ain't about to stay mad like the rest of them. Good on that. Man, thing talking about she listen. You always listening. What's up, man? Thing, how you feeling, man? Yana, what's up? Oh, she done left already.
I'm
Sean, my
good.
brother
I'm
Sean, my
good.
cousin in the building. What up, cuz?
What up,
You know,
Sean?
What up, dog?
what
What
up,
up? What
dude?
up? What's going on, Prince?
Nothing, my boy. Man, it's been a minute since
Oh,
last
I
time I
cannot.
went
I
through
ain't no way I
this.
can have my cousin and Sean in the same room, man. My head gonna be hurting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, take your Tylenol, nigga, because I'm coming with the headache today.
Oh my. Yes,
Look,
sir.
give him a headache just like I do. Make his brain work.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I'm talking. Now, Sean, what is the difference between a legal definition and a medical definition?
Man, I'm dumb. I don't even know.
All right, right. I'm about to say that's good answer.
Shit, I'm just gonna be
Good
honest.
answer.
Shit.
Because I was about to say I ain't gonna even act like him, but dang on. So my head hurt trying to think.
Okay, so a legal definition is what is used to do court proceedings and all that other bullshit. Medical definition is based upon the fact of going through and defining a medical condition or state.
Hmm, interesting.
So, again, I'm going to ask if you're legally classified as brain dead and you're not medically classified as that because the body's still functioning in its entirety, you just are not conscious. Are you still living and just in a state of a coma, or are you gone and no longer here and they have you hooked up to a bunch of machines? Because the woman I'm talking about, she is not hooked up to a bunch of machines. She doesn't have a respirator on her. Her organs are still functioning. All functions of her body are still going.
How do we know that?
Because they're literally, I'm in the same fucking city as the woman they're talking about.
Hey, headache, meet my new headache.
Like, I'm
Honey.
just saying. I'm just saying. You if you can't
They have an
comprehend basic,
Imperial, I have a Yana.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Look, Yana,
can
I
I
already
just
know who.
ask, like, what the fuck is going on?
Nah, I don't.
I
I
Not
need.
don't.
really,
Oh,
not really. This
I'm
is a
lost.
conversation I'm having with Kev before this topics get kicked off.
Oh, okay. And what is it about?
About this young lady that's here in Georgia that is legally classified as brain dead, but she has not medically
Uh,
been classified as it. She is still,
damn.
all of her body functions are still functioning. She's breathing without a respirator. She's just in a state of a coma or a deep sleep or unconsciousness.
Oh,
Can I
she in
make a
that place
comment?
off Supernatural.
Can I make a
But she's,
comment?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Y'all need to leave DDG alone because Holly is in the wrong. Oh
Interesting.
God, oh brother.
DDG is fine. Look, nobody ain't saying nothing about DDG.
They
DDG is
just pulled up a video of how toxic Hollywood. So
I was
yeah.
right.
about to say, so what Lauren London on?
Uh-oh.
Hold up, wait.
Yeah.
Hold up, wait. Hold up.
What is that about? I don't know.
We we
I
gonna
don't
we
even pay
gonna
attention
leave
to them
we're
celebrities.
gonna leave that lady alone because she gave an heir to the Australian bloodline. Leave her alone.
No, y'all can't. What is all these allegations about her and Diddy hunching?
Okay, if they was, they grown. Fuck it, move on.
Oh, now it's y'all grown, but let it be a black man.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you right now. When it comes to all this shit that's going on with Diddy, I was on somebody else's live and I explained this. I broke it down as smooth as the day is long. They are all co-conspirators unless they were underage. They all walked through the door and knew what the assignment was and they took part in it. They all got bread from it, fame, notoriety, with ETC. They was doing the shit willingly. Anything after that is a lie. They're all co-conspirators. Don't want to hear shit.
My
If they,
cousin laugh, he making me laugh.
now I say that because I'm
That's a
proven
laugh I've
that.
been hearing for years.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question though. Any of y'all been to a Diddy party?
Hell no.
Oh, okay, all right.
Right.
I plead the fifth.
What?
Wait, what?
You been to a Diddy party? Did you leave before 3 a.m.? Because they say if
You,
you don't leave before, if you leave
you
at
you
2:59, you
damn
good.
right. I'm gonna plead the fifth, and I'm gonna say you don't ever stay after 2 a.m. You get the fuck out before 2 a.m. You're safe.
So you went to a Diddy party?
It ain't no
Didn't I just
fun
say I plead the
if the
fifth?
homie can't have none.
Oh
How you
man,
plead the fifth and then answer a question at the same time?
he
Isn't that
Nah,
We
isn't
you
that
have a
missed
pleading the
yacht.
you
fifth?
missed what I
Hey,
just
y'all
said.
crazy. She
You
using a
missed
medical term right now. Stop playing with her.
look, you missed what I just said. I plead the fifth to his question and I answered you're supposed to leave before 2 a.m. Those are two different statements. Come on now. Use your thinking
Okay.
caps.
Well, pause. I think it's time for you to take a breath. Kev, do you want people to answer your question or no?
Hey, if y'all
We
ready,
haven't
let's
got it.
go.
We haven't got enough likes.
I like how he talking.
See, I'm sorry, y'all don't really know who I am. I'm one of Kev's original day ones, mods and contributors.
I
So,
ain't never seen you before in my life, Ben.
and that don't mean diddly shit to me, son.
I'm not a son. I am a woman, but you know,
I
still
am
cute.
women.
But as I said, we ain't got enough likes. Kev
I feel
normally
that, bro.
don't start his conversation pieces until he get at least 2,000 likes.
Oh, don't let Bert hear you say that. Just thought about that.
Right.
Where's Rachel today? I haven't seen her on your live in a minute. She been on her own.
She probably gonna she'll be.
Hey, Bert, do me a
Unless she
solid.
back and shoot, I had to go. We both just been trying to stay active and stuff and
Oh, okay.
work on our bodies.
I've been having to
Since,
bounce back
since,
and forth.
since you're another A1 day one, Bert, do me a solid. FYP this mug.
And Bert, the number one mod though.
Yeah, nah, he is. I ain't arguing that.
It ain't no number one cuz here.
Nah, Bert's number one in every platform he walked through.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Bert. He literally was my first mod ever
So
since
you
I
gonna
started.
choose that nigga over me?
I'm sorry, cuz. Like, it is what it is.
All right, if I go out here and something happen to me, that's on you.
Hey, hey,
That's how I
hey,
be.
hey, we still got you. We're going to go ahead and avenge you. We might not be able to save you, but we damn sure going to avenge you, to quote somebody.
Hey, bro, you gotta chill on me today, cause I'm a little blood.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm on everybody ass. Everybody.
Get him out. Look, I woke up with violent
What's
go
up
sleep,
with
get
this
it,
whole
man.
so
Tory
Go
I
get
get
Lane
it.
it.
shit? Y'all, man, these women just out here acting all crazy. What's
Tory
up with Tory
Lanez
Lane?
is innocent, period. End of
Oh
story.
my
Man,
Nobody
got
got to
that
God,
tell me
y'all
what to
think
man
say.
everybody is
just
innocent.
No, no.
you said
Tory
he ain't
Lanez is
convicted
innocent.
nobody.
Ain't nothing else to say. The
The
man came
county
out and
empty.
said that he is the one that did it. The other chick did it, not Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez was set up to keep his mouth hush.
And
That's
now
it.
he in there, he almost got unalive. That's
Right.
crazy.
Right. Now, like, I'm going to say it like this. It's a very unpopular thing to say. But if she don't get the same treatment that Tory Lanez got, lose his career, lose her money, get locked up, all that, there is no such thing as justice.
I know one of y'all
Man,
about to.
stop playing, man. You sound crazy as hell. She can shake a little ass on Instagram and go get 2 million views. She still gonna make her money.
My
And
man
that's
Bro,
finna
why
say,
and that's
pass
why
it.
everybody knows that women get treated with kid gloves when it comes to the court system. Don't want to hear nothing no more.
facts. But at the end of the day, we gotta deal with that shit. You gotta be a man.
I don't want to hear none of that trope shit. That's all that bullshit that they say in order to shame men from doing what they supposed to. We ain't over here doing none of that.
Hey, that's crazy, bro. That's why I say dating in your 20s should not be taken seriously. Don't do that shit. And I'm gonna
Nah.
say it
Man,
from both sides. I'm gonna say it
look,
from both sides. Hear me
Dino,
out. As a man in your 20s, you're going to literally fuck up. You're going to fuck up. You're gonna try to get it right. You're gonna fuck up. And if you're not willingly and able to go into a relationship with a woman and really take care of her wholeheartedly, and she should be able to give you the things that you need from a woman. If you can't do that in your 20s, leave that shit alone until you get established. It's a known fact that most men don't start making real money until they early 30s. So why is you even sitting there trying to do anything and you know you can't provide a life for that woman that you would want to provide for your wife? Because I know me, my wife, I'm taking care of that. Fuck all that 50-50 shit. That's my wife. And
Nah,
then with the
we
whole
looking for a
women,
provider women. Nah,
you
nah.
said,
I say that men. I'm the opposite when it comes to that shit because I don't believe that a man should just be taking care of another grown adult. Uh, yeah, I totally disagree on that. You're supposed to take care of a woman. I believe that the woman invests in you and you invest in a woman. All of that, you take on all this responsibility of another grown adult and don't add nothing to value, but bringing a kid in the world and having sex with you. I don't think that men should sign up for shit like that. I think those days are over with and it's going to have to be a change. That benefit women, it doesn't benefit men. So I don't believe men get anything out of that.
nah, hear me
Women
out.
are working.
I hear you on that. My fault to cut you off.
Hold up. Let him finish, bro. Let him finish.
I
I
believe
mean,
that I don't believe that women work so hard to get the rights that they have now just to go back to the old ways. So to me, how life is right now, most men end up unaliving earlier than women because of the stresses of the world that the man have on his back trying to keep up a household, thinking that he has to do everything. I just disagree with that. I don't believe that that benefit men whatsoever. And I don't believe it benefit the household with kids because if you trying to provide for your kids and you out of the house spending all your time at work, I will assume that the woman don't love you because she will want what's best for you and what's best for the kids. You being at work and constantly providing and being tired is not what's best for the kids. That's just best for the woman.
that's a good point. See,
Bert, you got anything
I
to add into
definitely
that?
agree with you. I agree with you on the aspect of if that's your life. It's all about how you do it. See, me, I want to take care of my wife, but at the same time, you about to run this business over here. You about to do what I need you to do to not only add value to the house, but add value to the financial side too. But the thing is, I'm going to provide the opportunities because I'm the man with the plan. That's why I don't look for a woman to take care of me. Because when I meet that woman, I know what I need done in my program. So if I can plug you into my program and you can help this system go a lot smoother, I value you because you are a key piece of the program. So why wouldn't I do everything I can to take care of you? You're going to make my house a
Got there
home.
together though. You
I
feel
think I
me?
think you've proven them. Oh, go ahead.
Like you,
I was
I
just about to,
understand
I was
what
just
you're
about to
saying.
say,
That's
yeah,
why I
you
said
did.
that's why I said like I agree with you on a certain point. Like, it is stressful on me. Shit, I live it. But at the end of the day, I think that's why God built us to be men. It's we got a role to play just like they got a role to play. That's just what it is.
Yeah. So let me get
Now,
I'm gonna start in the order real quick because there's about 5 people ain't talking. Let's get Waters in. Then we gonna go up. Then we no, I'm gonna go Waters. Then I'm gonna get War Panda. Then Bert. Then Main Thing. Then Yana. Then Imperial. I think he already answered
you
that.
can put me last, my boy.
Go ahead, Waters.
Oh, I read the first part. The second part. I guess I just seen the purple part, but it's interesting to me because I was just talking to a guy the other day about this, and it was like, in my opinion, kids like hanging out with other kids, going to parties and stuff like that,
Which
whatever.
one you on? Which one
Oh,
you
my
on?
fault. It's the one that says the second one, the second one.
Oh no, I'm trying to do the purple one first.
Oh, the purple one first. Oh, I
Okay.
got my glasses.
Should 20s age be taken seriously or made for trial and error moments?
Yeah, it should be taken seriously because it's like these are crucial moments. I'd rather make these mistakes now and then make them later because it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Hmm?
learn how to build with somebody. Like me and my wife, we've been together since college. You know what I'm saying? I'm 30 years old now. That was 10 years ago. You feel me? So we deep in. Now I'm starting to make more and better money. I'm glad I'm with a person that I was with for a long time that I can trust. You know what I'm saying? Wait until you got the bag. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but the risk that comes with that is like, now who can you trust? You know what I'm saying? You can't just be trusting motherfuckers and shit. You feel me? Like, yeah, I understand you want to take care of. I want to take care of you too. You know what I mean? We take care of each other. You give me the things I need, and I'm gonna provide and give you the things I need. But I gotta be able to motherfucking trust you first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? And in the 20s is about that time, you feel me, to build that trust. You don't want to start trusting motherfuckers, building trust at the age of 30, 35. Like, come on now, you getting too old for that. You supposed to be locked in already with somebody. You know what I mean? And I feel like that starts in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? Do you want me to answer the second one?
No, I'm gonna get no, I had to take care of something. Go ahead, War Panda, and then all the people that ain't talking yet, y'all can go ahead and get them tabs going. I ain't seen not a pizza tab. I know my girl ain't got to come in here for y'all to tap, but go ahead and share it out too if y'all haven't. Go ahead, War Panda.
I feel like people used to be able to kind of fuck around in their 20s, but with what outside look like, I don't think people want to really do too much. Hey! I don't think people really want to do too much of that. The shit sound real unappetizing nowadays. And as far as like relationship and regular life shit, I just don't think people have the luxury anymore of taking it easy. They really got to use them. The 16 to 18, use that time to have their fun, because by the time you getting a little older, everything expensive. And then the way these people out here fucking, they all got kids. So I would like to think that my children would have their 20s to be footloose and fancy free, but more than likely they're gonna have a job, possibly more than one, and I pray I do enough to make sure ain't nobody popping out no kids, cause that shit expensive.
All right. What you got? Bert, what's up?
Yeah, yo, I'm still like reading this, trying to understand what you're getting at here. Should 20s age be taken seriously? Well, the way I listen, with 20-year-olds, when they talk to me, it's really hard for me to listen to them, if that's what you're getting at. I don't take them seriously. Are you asking me if I take them seriously?
Oh dang, yeah. So I ain't putting it that way. I'm putting it as in like in your 20s, because I hear people say you should have fun in your 20s, and then you take it serious when you get 30 or something like that, 30 years old or something like that.
You
So
should
like,
definitely not do that.
I think having too much fun in your 20s is a good way to like mess your life up. I
Yeah.
think that certainly for men, the quicker you can get on your purpose, the better off you'll be. They don't know that when they're 20, but that's what old heads should be telling them. Is the quicker they get on their grind and get on their purpose, the better off their life is going to be. Honestly, I think you can have more fun in your 30s if you
That's
do the right
crazy.
things in your 20s.
I just told my son that literally. Like, you
I
start
like
grinding now. You feel me? He 8 years old. I'm telling him now. I said, hey,
But but if you fuck up, in your 20s, your 30s ain't gonna be much fun.
probably the rest of your life dang there. But go all right. Yana, go ahead, Yana, and then we're gonna get main thing.
Is Hi,
Sean?
I'm a 20-something-year-old. I'm 22.
Dang right, I should have just skipped over you. I forgot.
I am the
Hey, Yana,
20
are
something.
you engaged together? Are you engaged together? I'm trying to figure out who all's together.
Huh?
I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Pause.
She
I
sounds
thought y'all were.
lovely, but
I thought y'all were together.
I'm gonna have to strongly decline.
No, it's
I
okay.
meant,
I
my
wasn't.
bad, my bad. I
There's no
might have made a
offer there.
mistake. My bad.
Um, you can't decline something that wasn't there. So, um, 20s. Yeah, you have to be working to have your stuff together in your 20s. For myself, I kind of felt behind because I was like, okay, I see my other 20-year-old friends doing stuff. I'm not there yet. I have no clue what I want to do in my life. And then now I kind of have a little bit more, I guess, insight. And I had a relationship. I was taking him seriously. We were together. I thought that was the person I was going to marry. And then we broke up like a week ago. So, but I'm taking it as it's okay. We live, we learn.
I'm not taking that as it's time for me to go outside and have a hot girl summer. I'm about to get back into school. I will be a graduate. I will finish and I will be a homeowner and I will do all the things that I was going to do with or without him. But regardless of me being in a relationship or not, I think that people really do think that they're either like at 21, you need to be married and have 5 kids, or they're like at 20, you can do whatever you want to and there's no repercussions. But I'm kind of in the middle ground. Like, I know how to have fun without ruining my life. I also know that I have work at 8 o'clock in the morning the next day. I do live at home, but I also have like a good support system. So I like that although my parents know that I work really hard, I have a small business, I'm in school, I work a full-time job, I'm doing all these different things. If something were to fall through, if I had an issue with the job, they're going to pay my car payment because they see how hard I work. Now, if I was slacking and smoking in their house every single day, no, I would not have that luxury of my parents picking me up where I fall down, because you do have to learn at 20s, but you should also have parents that allow you to fall a little bit, and they are there to kind of catch you sometimes too. But if you're being irresponsible, no, you don't get help. So I'm not an irresponsible 20-something-year-old. Just trying to get to a goal, I guess.
Yana, do you consider yourself an adult?
Yeah, I do. I'm 22 years old. Yeah.
Well, as long as your parents will back you up, are you an adult if your parents are still like keeping you from failing?
They're not.
Yes.
Yes,
They're not.
you are.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
Yes,
you
he is.
are.
Having a strong
Yes.
foundation and good support does not make you any less of an adult.
I don't think that I'm not an
Facts.
adult. I think that someone's echoing. I think that I have parents that did what they were supposed to do in their 20s, so they're not trying to figure it out in their 40s, and they have allowed me the grace to for things that I mess up on to not be as detrimental in my 20s, and I'm still trying to repair from at 35. And I think that is the grace of when you do adulthood the right way, you're able to give your children some type of cushion. But no, if I was out here having sex with 15 different people and I don't know who my baby daddy is, my mom's not going to help me with that. But if I'm in between, like, for example, quick example, I hated my other job. I quit. They took my last paycheck. I didn't have money to pay my car note because they took half of my wages. And I had a really long onboarding process before my next job because they had a really long background check process. If I had no plan, my parents would not help me. If I had nothing that I ever wanted to do in my life and I just wanted to live off their couch and eat bonbons, then they wouldn't help me. But they decided to help me
What,
because I was in a situation that they saw I was trying to get out of.
when you say they took half of your wages, what does that mean?
On a check that was supposed to have 60 hours, they paid me $7.25 for all 60 hours of my pay, and I do not make $7.25. So they literally paused direct deposit for everybody in the building because they got mad and retaliated that I quit, and they retaliated by pausing everyone's direct deposit and wrote me a check for $322.
That's illegal and unlawful.
But according to them, it's not, and I didn't have the energy to fight it, so I left. And now I'm at a better job, so it's okay.
Yo, Kev, drop me so I can hit the bottom box.
Hey, were you under contract? Because I know some jobs that do that when you have to like sign like a contract where you have to be there for a certain amount of time. If you leave
So
before that, they could do that.
the problem was that I signed the employee handbook stating that if you leave before 30 days, that they could garnish your wages, but I never quit. So they got that I quit from someone else, and that's how they garnished my wages. But I never told them I quit, I'm out. So they still had no liability to take my wages if I never told you I quit. I never no called, no showed. They heard that they thought I was leaving from someone else, and I got sick the next day. So they assumed that I wasn't coming back, and they took my money. So I just didn't go back because what do I look like going back to y'all after that? And we were gonna sue, but then that just turned into a long process, and I didn't care because it was $300, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Well,
So it's part
you
of it.
didn't have to sue. All you had to do was go to the Department of Labor and show them. And
Right,
the
but like I
Department of
said,
Labor would have just ate them up.
they're already, look, the boss, well, okay, sorry, Kev. The owner of the building, she ended up selling the building, so they couldn't even go after her, the person that wrote my check, because she was gone. My director, the person that was under her, she got fired a week later. So it just turned into this whole entire pool of mess, and I didn't want to deal with it. I got my car payment paid for. That was my biggest bill, and I went to Dreamville, and that was it. That was it for me. But yeah, that's the joys of young adulting, I guess.
That's wild. I'm sorry to hear
Wow,
that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Hey, whole time, not even just like young adulting. When I first moved like out to Springfield or whatever, I was staying with my cousin, and I'm like, I got my car and shit or whatever, but I couldn't find a job out here. Like the first one I found, they was playing, taking too long with the call back. So I'm like, I ain't got time for y'all. My car note was due every 2 weeks because my dad know a nigga like me gonna get up and work, gonna hustle. I'm still in shock to this day. He paid my car note that was due every 2 weeks for the next 6 months until I was able to be stable, pay what I need to pay, and do my shit. And I'm 32. He did this when I was 31. So I completely feel you. I know what it's like to have a good support system, to have a good family that's gonna stand behind you when you on your shit. Cause
But that's what it is, though, is that you have
yeah,
to be
Hold
on your
on real
shit. If
quick,
you don't
yeah,
give your
y'all. Hold
parents or
on
your
real
people
quick,
no reason to support you, then they won't.
Is
yep.
being an adult just about age? That's
Hey,
what
can
I'm
you hear
getting
me?
at.
Y'all can't hear me?
Is that? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kev.
I, that wasn't even. I was about to say it was like 3 people, but whatever. Go. No, wait, I don't know what you're saying. Go ahead, Bert. You were saying what you was something, and I was about to get main in real quick. So I ain't hear him say anything.
It's kind of what I was getting at before. Is being an adult just about age? Is it just about that number, or are there other things about being an adult that matter more?
It's all the above. It's all encompassing.
A lot of kids have had a lot of responsibility. I don't think that necessarily qualifies them as adults, but I do think it pushes them towards that way a little faster. Now, depending on the age, I would possibly say, like, I wouldn't necessarily call a 15-year-old who kind of having to do shit on their own no adult. I possibly would call somebody that's 18 or 19 who having to do their own shit on their own an adult, just kind of given the situation of what's going on. Because, well, you can emancipate yourself at a young age, but I don't know how often that's happening nowadays. But I know and have known a few 17 on up to kind of get their own spot, had their own kid, whatever, you know. So, no, I don't. Well, I guess, yes, age does matter, but I think only at a certain point, like only in the teen area can you say that. After you get like 17, you're not an adult, bro. You know.
All right. Let's get main in real quick. Let me get. I feel like Sean already answered it. No. To get main in. I don't think she said anything.
Um, I think your 20s, that's the time where you're trying to figure out what kind of young adult are you and where do you really see yourself going in life. But I think a lot of 20-year-olds after school, they don't really want to stress their minds no more. It's like I'm not on no clock unless college is something that my parents and myself is pushing, right? But if I'm not pushing that, then more than likely I'm gonna be sitting out of school for a while. Some people, they just want a break. Some people automatically get a job. Some people want to hurry up and learn how to drive, get a license, so they can start, like I said, making money, just being a young, mature adult. I think when it comes to young girls, well, young women, because that's what they are. Young women, they want to make money, but they want to spend it on whatever. They ain't trying to spend it on bills or nothing. It's like, let me just spend it on shopping, clothes, whatever I want to, whatever she's into. She wants to enjoy the way she lives life. As for a guy, I think guys the same way. They're not trying to sit up here automatically focus on getting married and making somebody their wife. I don't think that. I think most young dudes are focused on trying to get the box. I think a lot of them are focused on if they have goals and careers, they're going to be pursuing that. They're going to, I don't know, it's a lot that comes with it. They're going to be trying to be builders, but also lovers. So you're going to have some people out there trying to love, some people trying to just smash their life away and be players all their life. So I just think it's a little bit of everything, like in your 20s. But I think a lot of people need to take their 20s serious because it will show in your adult life the things that you tolerate and don't tolerate, if that makes sense. And I land.
All right, all right. Ain't no room picking up now. Okay. Y'all, dang, I gotta get late on here for y'all to see me. Y'all gotta not be cheating on other lives. Yeah, I be catching y'all saying no, I'm talking junk. But go ahead, Sean. What up, Huntress? I see you, sis.
Yeah, I think 20 should be taken very seriously because I believe that's the foundation. You only get one life to live, and you can't relive yesterday. So I think you're here for a limited of time, so you have to take it very seriously. So every day is serious to me. So wasting 10 years of your life for trial and error to me would just sound kind of crazy to me. So I believe that is the foundation, that's the building block of your future is in your 20s. You can't wait till your 30s and then start taking life seriously and settle down. Number one, I think, at that age also you need to be focused on your mental. Most people try to obtain materialistic things, everything outside of themselves, and really don't focus on their mental and who they are as a person. So I believe that's the first thing you need to do on top of all the other things. But I do think that 20s is very important, and that is the foundation, that's the building block. And we limited time on this earth, so to me, you can't afford to waste no damn days.
Nah, me and Sean actually agreeing today. That's crazy work. Something gotta be done about this.
Yeah, stop playing with me. I come with it today. Quit playing.
Heck, my cuz go. What the heck? Go ahead. Go ahead, Gabe.
All right, so I'm gonna make it short and sweet. Ain't no time to fuck around. Your 20s should be taken serious in all aspects. I'm not saying that you should do what I did in my 20s, but I'm gonna give you a simple blueprint. For men, put yourself in some form of physical combat training, martial arts, boxing, whatever. Sorry about the noise. I'm up here by this restaurant, there to get something to eat. And then you should start learning a trade as a man. There's no excuse why you shouldn't be able to build your own house. You should also learn how to do this tech industry stuff. Ain't no excuse. You got time. All that idle time that you have in your 20s, you should be using it to apply yourself to do things that are going to benefit you later. Put the effort in. For the ladies, same thing. Pick up a trade that's going to benefit you, your family. Learn something that's a skill that's going to be beneficial. Invest your money and your time in something that's going to give you an honest return. And don't smash everything that's in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not worth it. It's a waste of energy. I'll leave it at that.
All right, open panel again, and then we get to the next one.
Bert, you want to kick it off?
Leave me mute for a second.
All right.
All
So,
right, I guess I'll say my perspective then. I would say, because I notice when I say something that's when people want to jump in. But now I'm about to say, yeah, for the most part, I would say I really want the lady that had me do this topic. I need her to come up in here. My new mod. I don't know. But before I say it, let me let Kelly go real quick. Then I'll say my.
All right.
What up,
Can
Kelly?
y'all hear me?
Yep.
Can y'all?
Hear you.
Okay.
I can
Um,
hear you, sis. How you doing, sis?
20s are important, but some people never got to live their 20s because they had the responsibility of raising sisters and
Right.
brothers. They had the responsibility of raising sisters and brothers because maybe they didn't have a mother or father that was home. I mean, my family, my mom and my dad worked, so I was the oldest one. I had to help raise my two younger sisters. But I didn't look at it as I never had my 20s. But a lot of people look at it as they had to be an adult early in their life. They didn't get a chance to live their 20s or live their teens because they had to turn around and raise their younger sisters or brothers because there wasn't family around. So that's why I think a lot of people that are in their 20s or 30s, they want to live out and be like, go out to clubs, do this, do that, because they didn't get a chance to do that because they had to grow up too quickly and they had responsibilities put on them that they didn't know how to do because there wasn't enough people in their life to do the parental figures like they're supposed to. So, and I know I've talked to quite a few people, a lot of the older, if they have siblings, the older siblings had to raise the younger siblings. And then it's like, well, I didn't get a chance to go out and hang out with my friends. Well, I didn't get a chance to go here. I didn't get a chance to go here because I had to raise my sisters and brothers. So that's just my point.
Yeah, so are we on number 2 now, or I guess my thing with adulting, just real quick, man. My thing with adulting is until you own your consequences, I don't consider you an adult. You know what I mean, Kev? If you don't own your consequences, like the consequences of your actions, I don't consider you an adult. Is that wrong?
Facts.
So I mean, I get it that people turn 20 and they think that they're grown, but if someone's still covering you for your consequences, it's hard for me as a Gen Xer, I guess, to look at you as an adult. And it's okay. We all go through that phase. It's okay, but an adult, nah, I'm not buying it.
So I guess the real question is,
So
what's the difference between an adult and a kid?
So 20-year-olds aren't adults because they have a good support system, or anybody who has a good support system isn't an adult because they have support. Because I know a lot of you Gen Xers, it was either live or unalive. Like, it was either get a job at work or be stuck. Y'all ain't had no choice. Y'all didn't have no
It's
help.
real, it's real easy. Kev, if you don't work, do you eat?
Nope.
Dang, don't nobody love you enough to
Right.
help you eat if you struggling? Sheesh.
No,
but
his,
that's not,
mommy,
can
his
I
mommy can
disagree,
help him.
Bert? Because that's not true
Of course
though.
you
Like
can.
if you don't work,
Whoa, be
then
careful.
you can go to a food drive or you can apply for food stamps. So it's just
Hold
because
on.
you're getting subsidies from
Yeah,
the
do you want
government,
this
are you
back?
still not an adult
Can
too? Or
can
are you
I
just
say
supposed to starve?
But I took a
can I
couple of
say
drafts and it
something?
was going down.
I guess I'm a Gen Xer too. But I know the way that I grew up poor. I grew up helping my mom and my dad going ahead, and they both had to work. And I'm looking out food stamps to get ahead and pay for the thing. But I also had a babysitting job and stuff. I had to help contribute to some of my mom and dad's bills when they didn't have it. But I had to learn and understand that my mom and dad didn't have everything to give me. So if I wanted it, I had to work. I had to babysit. I had to do. Sometimes the babysitting money I got, I didn't get it to me. I had to give it to my parents. As I got older, when I had a better job and better career, I'm the one who helped out my parents. And I think that that's not understood. It's like people look at that sometimes as a hindrance, but that made me who I am today. That made me like, I would never want to see somebody struggle. My parents brought me here, even though it was fucking toxic as fuck. Brought me here, but they did the best they can with what they could.
May I respond to that? Because I think it's the same thing on the opposite spectrum. Like, people think that just because you do not struggle, that is also a hindrance to you because you don't know how to operate in like normal adult situations. When in reality, me not having to
Okay,
worry about helping my parents. Now, I'm
but
not
if
saying
you
anything
don't
about
know,
you. But wait,
If you don't
no,
know what struggle is,
that's not.
then how do you sometimes you need to struggle in life to know how to
Wrong,
be able to
wrong,
I
get
don't
wrong.
agree
things
with that.
Stop
in
But wait,
life.
teaching
I'm
people
gonna
they have to
finish.
struggle to
I'm
be
gonna
happy and be an
finish.
adult. Go ahead. Go.
I
Nobody's
wait,
saying struggle
wait,
to be happy.
Calm
no,
down,
Nobody's
everybody.
saying
Calm
pause.
down.
struggle. Okay.
Kelly, hold on.
Hold on,
Yana, go ahead.
let me finish. It's not that you have to struggle in order to be successful. Because for me, I mean, I feel as though if I there's a difference between being an enabler and aiding your child to be successful. If you are around enablers, they're going to enable everything bad, and you're never going to have consequence for bad actions or good actions. So that's not the same thing. Whereas if I am making sure as a parent that I do my due diligence so you're not having to pay for my bills or taking care of anything that I cannot take care of on my own, then that is aiding you to do things that, like you said, you feel like you missed out. But even outside of that, going to
Yana.
college, not having debt, being able to start your young adult life without the burdens of your parents, that is what young adulthood is supposed to be. And that's not what it's like for everybody, unfortunately, because we were not
Can I ask
all
you a question,
given
Yana?
privilege, and that sucks. But in an ideal world, no one wants to struggle. So whenever I hear people talk about struggling as a young adult, are you saying that you would have rather struggled, or would you have rather have an experience that like made you an adult but you didn't have to struggle as much?
So, Yana, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
So it's a binary question, right? So I'm asking you to choose between two options, right? So
Oh,
which, I know we hate binary questions.
uh-huh.
Which do you think is more true? That you're an adult or that you're learning how to be an adult right
That
now?
I'm learning how to be an adult.
That I agree with that. Yeah, that's
But
fine.
but
See
I
what
but
you said.
no, but I consider myself both though. Like, am I learning how to
You
adult?
can be
Do I
both.
live?
When you go to school, you're a freshman. You're learning all through there, but you're a freshman still when you go to college and you
Yeah,
become
I
a
don't
junior
think
in
that
college.
two things can't be true at once.
You
If
right,
I go outside and I crash a car into someone's house, I will be charged as an adult, right?
literally.
I have to file taxes as an adult. I still have to pay my mom rent. Like I do have adult responsibilities. Now, does that mean that I am fully as much of an adult as my mom? No. But is my mom as much of an adult as her parents? No. But that also just depends on how much responsibility you're forced to
So
have. So if I
what would
mean,
happen?
but like she said earlier, if I was 16 and I got emancipated and I was paying rent, would you then consider me adult? Like,
Yana,
what is linear
Yana,
adulthood for you?
I'm just trying to paint a picture here, right? So what would happen? You said you have to pay your mother rent. What would happen if you didn't pay her rent? What would happen?
My mom loves me, so she wouldn't kick me out. But for some people, they would
Right.
be on
So
the
you
side of
don't have to
her.
pay her rent, do you?
No, I do. I do pay my mom. What are we talking about? I pay my mom rent. I work full time. I have a small business and I'm in school.
He's
So
trying to say
that's
because your
valid
mama
for me.
love you and you can stay in the house possibly rent free that you're not an adult.
But
Wrong.
I
You
couldn't
are an
though. If I
adult.
was living rent free in her house doing whatever I wanted to, then I would be homeless.
Because you
Without me
wouldn't be
having
living there.
respect for my
Exactly.
parents. I wouldn't have anywhere to live if I was bringing dudes over all the time, leaving food and dishes in the sink, not paying her any money, and saying, "No, mom, leave me alone. Get out of my effing room." No, I'd be homeless real
See,
quick.
that's the problem with our culture, though. A lot of people want to embrace the struggle and make it seem
They
like
do.
the struggle is everything, but it's not. I come from the struggle, and I
Get
don't want my
gross.
kids experiencing that shit at all. So
Right.
if I can do anything I can to make sure they don't have to go through that shit, I'm doing it.
Facts.
But I also have friends that are my exact age and they do live the full adult experience. They live by themselves and they're in serious committed relationships or even married. And I still consider myself way more responsible or more of an adult than they are. Just because you pay bills does not mean that you are a responsible adult.
And you
Just
making
because you
noise
have
over there?
rent does not mean you're a responsible adult. That just means you had to do something.
Okay,
I agree with
Rachel.
that. Just because you pay
Go ahead,
bills, you're
Kelly.
not a responsible adult. Because a lot of people don't even know how to pay a bill. A
And a
lot
lot
of
of people
people
get
have
evicted.
a lot of people have a sense of entitlement that where they don't even know how to pay a bill, so they're going to find somebody that'll pay a bill for them. Just because you're an adult, there's so many people, men and women out here that don't even know how to function and know how to pay a bill because everything has been done for them.
But
You
that
have to be able to live your life and know how to be able to live your life. You're not going to, every day in life, you're not going to have a perfect life. You're going to go through struggles.
But do you
Just
think that
because you
just because my
struggled,
parents help, or not me, just because some people's
mhm.
parents help them, that means that they live a perfect life? That's some bull. That's crazy.
No, no,
That's
okay.
not a fair
No,
statement.
no, but you also, that is a crutch.
That's
It's
not
That's
not
a
a
a crutch.
crutch.
You're
crutch.
just
That's a
glamorizing struggle.
crutch.
You're
I
glamorizing
do
If
struggle
you
because
turn
you're
okay, I'm
glamorizing the
not
struggle
okay.
because you
Oh,
feel
let me time.
honorable
Hold
about
on.
what you did for your family, and it is
Hold on, War
honorable what you
Pounder.
did.
Let Kelly finish her. Let Kelly finish her thoughts, and then War, you can go after her. Kelly, go ahead, and then after that, War
That
Panda.
that's to me, that is a crutch. If you go out and you choose or whatever, and I'm telling you right now, I absolutely used my parents as a crutch. Yes, I fucking did. I lived on my own. I went ahead. I paid the bills. I paid everything. I worked 2 jobs. And what did I do? I knew my mom and my dad, anything that went wrong, I could turn back on them. They would take me in. They would give me money. That is a crutch that women, men, and everybody, they fall upon that because they know that their parents are always there. They're going to get ahead. How are you going to be able to get ahead and live your life knowing that you don't always have a support system there to pick you up? You're not always going to have that. If you know you have that, that's a crutch.
But
If you know at any point in time that there's somebody that's always going to bail you out, whether you did right, whether you did wrong, whether they're going to give you money, whether you're alone, whatever the case may be is. If
that's
you
called
know
being
that
an
somebody's going
enabler.
to be there, that's a crutch.
That's enabling. That's not the same thing as a crutch.
And there
If
go.
I decided to
That's
move
the,
out on my own, no, if I decided to move out on my own and I fell
Hold
short
on,
on
hold
rent
on.
1 month, that's help. If I decided to fall short on rent for 8 months, that's called enabling. That's not the same thing. That's not even comparable. If people around you are enabling your bad behaviors, then they don't care about you. Whereas if people are only supporting you because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you fall short every once in a while, everyone needs to pick me up. That's not fair because then by that means we would be saying that people in homeless shelters don't get to get help. That
Yeah.
that means no one can ever have help ever because you fell on hard times. Everyone has a crutch somewhere, period.
It just
Everybody has a
seems.
friend,
Hey,
everybody
it's
got a
okay
parent,
to be a
everybody got an
kid for a
uncle.
quick second and then pick yourself up and be an adult.
Huh?
Yeah.
What'd you say,
Hold
Cody?
on, Yana. Hold on. Let War Panda get in there. Y'all on the same side anyway. Go ahead, War Panda.
I like Warpaint.
I think everybody in her generation really do glamorize the struggle because
I agree.
that's crazy. I don't think it's fair to say that if people have a crutch because they have help. I don't think it's fair to call people children just because she's 20. Like that's not okay. Everybody got their own experiences and what makes them adult. And just because what made you an adult
We
was
gotta.
basically being forced into adulthood a little sooner than possibly you wanted to by taking care of younger siblings, you don't get to say she's not an adult because she doesn't have that responsibility. She's still an adult. She's still paying bills. She's still acting as an adult. She's being responsible. Whether she was, well, she's not. She's not popping it up and down the streets or whatever. She got a job. She got her head on straight. You don't get to call her a child because
All right, let's see. I want to hear from Rachel. I want to hear from Rachel. But War Panda, are you done?
Nah, she
I'm
said she
done.
would be ready until about a few minutes.
All right, Rachel, what do you think about everything that we've said?
She
Rachel's
not
busy.
ready. She not ready yet.
Oh, she's not ready? All right. What do you think, Kev?
I would say Goo Goo Gaga. It's like that. Let me stop. But nah. I think I hear what both of y'all saying at the same time. I probably wouldn't go as far as saying that they kids, but I think it's the mindset. So it go back to like that accountability thing. Now I can agree with that one though. I think only adults really kind of take accountability and stuff. You know, kids, you still got a kid mentality if you still got to sit here and blame everybody for your
So what about
decision.
adults that do that too?
It's called they still a kid. What the heck?
So if you are
I
a
didn't change. I
grown
didn't change what I said. What the heck? I just literally
if you're
said
a
it.
grown man who lives by yourself and you don't take accountability for things, are you then debunked back down to child? So as
Yeah.
so what is an adult? Then we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
then we
You.
just
That's
said
all
we
I
have
say. You
nothing
tell
but
me that. You
adults.
think? Oh, what
You
law tell
can't
you
just
an
check
adult?
out of adulthood because you fell on hard
Wait, hold
times.
on. So, because you 18, do that make you an adult?
Say, wait, can you say it again?
And yes, legally, yes, you're an
Yeah,
adult at
right. So
18.
you legally you saying that makes you. So what? Okay. So what? So that's the only thing that makes you an adult. Then, if that's the case, we just got to go by what law say.
No, look at what
and
Rachel
No,
said.
everybody just
You are an
become.
adult, but not an experienced adult, and that makes sense right there.
I
She's an
agree.
adult,
Yeah,
but
but
not
that's
fully
according. But look,
experienced.
look, that's according to who?
I guess everybody looks at it a little differently
Right,
because
because
I think
across the seas, adults are probably 12 years old, or somewhere else is probably so. Like, what's really an adult? Oh, that's actually a good
you're not
question. That's
calling
actually
no 12-year-old an
that,
adult.
yeah. That's what they do across the seas. They
I
getting
mean, but
pregnant and everything over there.
you also
So
gotta check some of the morals
and
over
so,
there. They marrying off
but
kids,
who give
so.
you the authority to tell them that they're not an adult? Just like somebody told that Yana that was so okay. It's the same thing.
But I think the parameters are different if
So
you're
it
in the
gotta be.
U.S.
It
versus
have to be.
overseas.
It have to be something
Yes, baby.
that makes you an adult. It have to be. Because how can a law just
I
change?
like
Be
my
like, because
definition.
what if they
I like
say
my definition.
25 is an adult next?
Hey y'all, I'm sharing my phone, so y'all can drop me down. I gotta jump off for a minute.
All right, for sure, for sure.
I don't understand people trying to promote struggle, but like those are the same people that try to kick their
Because
kids
they
out at
don't know any
18.
better.
They try to kick their kids out at 18 and they're like, oh, why don't my kids like me? Why don't they want to talk to me? Well, I can tell you why. You tried to. I mean, it's not the same, y'all. It's not the same for Gen X as it is for me. It's not easy to go out and just find an apartment and live by myself and start a career. It is not. The rent in my area is $1,300 a month. My car
You
payment
think
is
it was?
$350.
You think
It's
it was
not.
easy for? You think it was easy
No,
for
I do
us?
not think it was easy for you. But I also think that inflation and how our society is now and all these different economic issues that we're having, eggs being $8 absolutely plays a factor into why people feel like 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds are children. We don't have the same opportunity to move out. We don't have the same economy. So no, it was not easy for
Hey,
anybody. I'm
so if
not
a
saying that it's easy.
16-year-old had their own place and got a kid and got their own car and stuff, does that make them an adult?
No, they're legally a child. But they're also 9 times out of 10, if okay, you're emancipated, then you've already legally opted out of being a child. But regardless, we have to think about area and all these different things. We're talking about
It's
in
so funny.
general. In general, we're
I don't
seeing
think
kids that
I
are
don't think
staying
we
at
have a
home till
real
they're 25.
definition of what make a person an adult. Then it's
No, it's
Kev,
subjective.
Can I
it's
ask a
it do sound
question?
like it's subjective though.
I don't
I
think
think
it's
it is
subjective.
subjective though. Yeah, because I
Do you
always
yeah,
wanted
think
to.
the internet plays a part? Do you
Hmm?
think the internet plays a part in its success on how you're able to get a job, what you're able to do, and
No,
things like that?
no, no. You want to know why? You want to know why? I think that
I'm
because
just asking.
Yo,
because
your ass.
the
Tired of
job
it.
market is horrible. My mom is a program manager for a major company and she is having a hard time getting out of her job. This has to do with a recession that we're in our current economy. Rent 5 years ago was $912 in my area. If rent was what it is now and I was making what I am now, I'd be gone. I'd have a cute little pink apartment with bows everywhere. I promise y'all I would. Rent in my area right now, and I don't live in a major city. I live in the outskirts. It's $1,300 a month for a 1 bedroom.
New York is hot.
I'm not in New York.
I get that. I
I'm
get that.
sorry.
But
I'm not trying to be
we
mean.
had less. We had less than what this society has in the younger generation. We
That's
had
not
absolutely less
true.
to work with.
Y'all
Do you
don't
know
look
what
at
okay, let
economics.
me I'm gonna
No.
ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna ask you. Do you know what a yellow page is?
I do know what a yellow page is.
Lord
Yes.
have
Okay.
mercy.
Do you know do you know what dial up is? Because
Yes.
when we growing up, we barely had internet. And if we got and chose to get on the phone, we got kicked out because you had to have a CD. There's so many things in our generation that you all have that is easily accessible than what we had when we were growing up.
Okay,
We
so
didn't
here's
have
what I'm saying
luxury
to
to
that
those
though. But
things.
here's what I'm saying to that. Just because we can look things up, right? That does not change the fact that eggs are $8 right now. That does not change the fact that gas is $3.47 a gallon for 77. That does not change the fact that, like I said, apartments are $13.50 for a 1 bedroom in my area. So with all of that being said, right? Even if I can Google jobs near me, I still have to be hired. We are in a crisis of AI. Now you're over here competing against freaking computers. I have a pretty decent job for my age. I'm going into the dental field, whatever. It is based on career, but now they're outsourcing jobs. Now they're bringing people from other countries to do engineering jobs and all these other things. Fine and dandy. I'm not saying that it's impossible. Yes, We're in our 20s, but there's absolutely an influx of people my age staying at home for longer periods of times because everything has gotten so drastically expensive. And people, and I don't want to say it like this, but people that are in your age group don't understand that because your careers have already been built. So you've already been accustomed, or not accustomed, but your wages have fluctuated to where our economy is now. And if you haven't gotten a raise, then that's by your own means, but you already have the resume to get another job if you get fed up with it. So it's not the same. It's not. If you look at how much the economy has not changed and how much minimum wage is $7.75 still. Why?
Mine in Pennsylvania, it's 7.20. It's 7.35 in Pennsylvania. It is
Correct.
7.35
So
in
what are we
Pennsylvania. You
arguing
need a
about? We're aware
two-person
that the
income.
economy. Okay,
You need
so
a two-person income in Pennsylvania.
exactly my point. That's what
Right. You need a two-person income. I understand that. But a lot of people don't have two people to rely on.
That's why I'm
A
still
lot
at
of people
home, and
don't
that's why
have two
you're saying
people
that
to
I'm not an adult. That's the entire point. That is literally what I've been saying. So
But
what are
what?
we
Okay,
arguing?
what makes? And I'll just shut up because I do a lot of talking, and anybody knows me, I do a lot of fucking talking. So I'll shut up after
That's
this.
what's on your
But
mind.
Birdie Bird, I do a lot of talking. So what
Okay.
makes you different and more experienced
I think
as
I'm
an
muted.
adult than the Gen Xers? I guess you would say.
Nothing. I didn't say that I'm more experienced by any. That is never my claim at all. I said
I
that
haven't
it is
said that.
harder for people my age to find these things that you guys keep saying are so easily accessible when you guys don't compare your economy in 1995 to now and how much there is not much of a change. The
You need
Like
to
I said,
do some
minimum
research
wages
into
stayed the
Jimmy
same.
Carter.
Rent, fine. Rent was only what? My mom said her rent in 2001 was $432 for a one bedroom, and she was making $3.32 an hour. You could live by yourself on a minimum wage. You cannot live by yourself on minimum wage now, nor can you live by
Okay,
yourself with $19 an hour. That is my entire point.
I
Need
caught
some
So
other
that.
if
people
that is
on.
what you're comparing adulthood to, is solely living by yourself and paying your own bills. And the whole reason I'm saying that is if you cannot live by yourself because the economy is messed up where we are right now, then are you saying that everyone that lives at home is now not an adult because our economy has messed us up? That doesn't make sense.
No,
No,
I don't
real,
think I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying anyway.
I understood
Excuse
it.
me.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't think you are.
all I want to say
Okay.
Daenerys,
is
and
You
then
don't have
and then
to.
Kimmy.
all I want to say is the thing is people think that they era is worse because it's like this competition thing. We all have different struggles, but we have struggles. Back in the day, she talking about white pages and yellow pages. Okay, I'm old enough to literally see both. And just like how back in the day you got to get up and go, everybody had the white and yellow pages in their house. Just like a cell phone. Everybody
Thesaurus.
had it. You feel me? You feel me? It's just it was different ways of getting information. Y'all still had libraries. Yeah, you talking about a fax machine? Of course. Yeah, y'all gotta send shit by fax, but now people can send it by email. The only difference is the way it's being done. It's still the same struggles. Finding the job. Back in the day, y'all had to compete with back in the day. It was, you feel me, you gotta deal with the clan and stuff like that, and all type of other crazy stuff being held down and shit like that. But nowadays, you gotta worry about your own people be unaliving you. You gotta worry about just what a person gonna do out in the streets to you. It's just different struggles. Why do people sit there and argue, oh, my struggle, y'all didn't have to do this, but y'all ain't got to go through that. It's all struggle.
Gabe, what's on your mind?
My unpopular answer is going to be this. Yes, there is a difference between the economies, but it ain't that much of a difference. Because when I was in my 20s, and that wasn't that fucking long ago, I was paying $900 for an apartment with two jobs on minimum wage. That was before I decided to put my ass into the tech industry and go do computer data analyst expertise for certain people. So I don't want to hear that. And what they're talking about when they say that you're not an adult, they're not talking about You're not having adult responsibilities because you have a safety net. Most of us don't have a safety net. That's what they're getting at. They have to go and do this on their own. They go 2-3 days without eating a meal. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that their bills are paid. That's not a struggle. That's life. I'm sorry, but y'all got these computers in your hands. And y'all can do anything with these computers. And you want to say AI is a problem? It's not a problem. AI is actually a tool. And most people don't even know that the AIs that y'all are dealing with, they're not even fucking new. They're actually relatively old. They just released them to the public in the last couple of years. So, in a recession, this ain't
Yeah,
even a recession.
we're not,
This ain't even a
we're not in a
recession.
recession.
No, listen. This ain't even a recession yet. Y'all haven't even seen what a recession looks like.
We're not even close.
Not even close. Because if you want to see what a real recession looks like, go back to the early 2000s. That was an actual recession for the last 30 years of generation. Before that was the Great Depression. Right now, we're in a man-made downfall due to the fact of super rich people wanting to control things.
Oh, shit.
Supply chains are being interrupted on purpose. If you don't know that, I'm sorry, but y'all gonna have to do some more research, gain some more wisdom, because I can tell you things that'll shake your poor little brain to the core, but I'm not. I'll leave it at that.
I'll say one thing. Look, this younger generation, I have a lot to learn from you too. I have a lot. I have a 12 and a 16-year-old. Okay? I know my daughter calls me ancient. Okay, call me ancient. But there's a lot that I have to understand and know from her generation as well. Because I didn't grow up in her time. So there's things that I have to learn from her. And I have to learn it and understand because this is the generation she grew up in. But I grew up differently. So we have conversations and I have to learn. And I understand that. I understand that there's different times. Like we'll have questions and she'll ask me questions. And I honestly have questions for her. Because she grew up in a whole different environment than what I did. So I understand and I have to learn stuff from you too. I have to learn stuff from the younger generation because this is the day and age and it's going forward. It's not going back, it's going forward. So I do have to understand and I do have to learn that there's things that my kids can teach me. And I can't be negative and turn around and be like, no, this is your generation. This isn't mine. So I have to learn from you just as well as my kids got to learn from me.
I'm not saying that it's impossible for young adults to do anything. That's not my point. It depends on the field that you're in. It depends what you want to do with your life. Absolutely. But I am saying that we have seen an influx. And when you see an influx, then statistically there's a problem. Like we've all seen that the problem is that prices have gone up and things are not as affordable. We have seen homelessness rates go up. We've seen so many things go up. And I find it funny that anytime we have this conversation and it's a younger person positioning it, people say, well, you guys have access to technology, therefore you shouldn't be in this issue. But it's like, well, what do you think is like, what is, what's the solution? Because I realize either I'm going to be on the lower end of the job scale, I'm going to get paid nothing and have employers that treat me like crap, or I'm either going to get a trade or a degree that pays me out. Fine and dandy on both ends. But there's still like a time frame between doing those things, right? So I'm fully aware that I cannot support myself with how expensive things are in my area. In my region, they are not affordable. With me making way more than minimum wage, I cannot afford to live on my own. That has nothing to do with me being lazy or not wanting to pick up an extra job. That's literally how our economy is set up right now. So fine, call it what you want, say that the younger generation is lazy, we don't want to work 5 jobs, but it kind of gets to a point where it's like, I feel like you guys are just ignoring this because you are also saying people that talk to your friends about how much prices are going up and how you guys can't afford this and this and this and this and job turnover and all these other issues that I'm literally talking about. So what exactly do y'all want from us?
Can I say something? I think, back in the days, like, because adults kind of always have, like, it's kind of like you have your back against the wall, right? So you have to do what you got to do type of situation. But if you have, you always have something to fall back on. You don't learn how to do what you got to do. And Yana, I do understand that, everything's gone up and stuff like that. But there's plenty of articles and statistics, I guess, to show that a lot of your generation, y'all don't want to stay working. Y'all quit because y'all need mental health days. Y'all get
Those are
stressed
idiots.
quick.
They're stupid.
Huh?
I said those people are just stupid. But
No,
those
but
people
I mean,
exist
but
in every
they do
generation.
reflect. I mean, they reflect your generation. Because when you were saying like, there's not work, there's plenty of work. They don't want to work. That's a fact. They
I
don't.
don't think that's true though.
No,
And
they want to work how they want to work, but
I
they
hear
don't
people
want.
say that,
They don't want
but
to work.
I would have to disagree because job requirements for getting into entry level positions have gone up. Now it is you have this entire list of qualifications that you need to have an entry level $19 an hour job,
That's
and
not true. Like, when's the last
it,
time you've been on Indeed? That's not
I'm on
true.
Indeed all the time. I applied to 247 jobs and I got one, and my
Yeah,
resume is
maybe
pretty
you are
good.
applying too high.
I don't think I was applying too high. I mean, it definitely depends on where you live.
Okay, well, the
but
point is there's work. The point is there's work, okay? Believe me, there's work. You may not want that job. That's up to you, but there's plenty of work. What I was saying is that, yeah, even back in the days, right? If somebody couldn't afford an apartment, they would get a roommate, and they would still learn how to live on their own. It's just, or they would, huh? And yeah, it's because I mean, I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Your generation don't really want to struggle. It's cool. There's no problem. I get it. Y'all look at it like, shoot.
Disagree. I think that the means of struggling is different. Okay. Here. I think that we can both agree on this. People have bought out huge apartment complexes and houses, and there's independent owners, and they're renting it for way too high. They have now turned every single thing into a luxury apartment. There is no like baseline. I'd be okay with some freaking brown cabinets and a black refrigerator. I don't care that. I don't.
Nah,
but because they try to make everything luxury, and they've tried to, in my area, I'll say, they have pushed so much for even the things with brown countertops are still $1,100. It does make it to where it's like, okay, regardless for me to be able to afford this, anything.
No, really, it sounds like for me to be able to afford my luxury lifestyle.
No, I just said that even the baseline stuff is expensive.
No, but it's not though. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like,
I'll pull up my Zillow because I don't know. No,
I know, but there are certain places that are still cheap. You get what I'm saying?
Which is usually a bad area.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Lifestyle.
The healthcare, the school
I totally get what you're saying. What I'm saying is it's still a choice. It's not. I know it's still a choice. Like what I'm saying is it's not a matter of you can't. It's a matter of I'm choosing not to, and that's fine. That's okay for it to be a choice. Right. What I'm saying is it's okay for it to be a choice. But at the same time, it doesn't really afford you the experience necessary to learn how to adult.
But everybody gonna have different experiences in life that makes them an adult.
Yeah, no, hey, look, like I said, it's a choice.
Right, that's what I've been trying to say all night, because we're pretty much arguing the fact of, if you don't go through these struggles, then you're not an adult. You shouldn't have nobody else that can, pretty much be a crutch for you, when in reality, everybody is going to have different things that they go through that they are going to have to make adult decisions to get done and fix and complete.
So what I was speaking on was Yana's excuses for why they can't move out.
Or but why it's literally not an excuse though. Like Okay, no, I'm being so for real right now. I live in North Carolina, right? I live in the research triangle. So that means all the jobs around me are either engineering or healthcare, meaning they can price all of these places around me as much as they want because they know people will pay for it. So let's outsource people like me who are just now in their 20s. I'm not making $60,000 a year at 22 years old. That's not feasible, right? I'll get there one day, but I'm not there yet. So all of the apartments that would be feasible for me, that would be acquirable for me, right? Let's say it's $800 a month. They don't I kid you not, if I showed you my Zillow and I put $800 in, I put in the lowest of the low just to see what would even pop up. There is nothing because it is completely gone. They don't believe in doing that anymore. They don't believe in having 1 month free because your credit is good and now you have roommates. Roommates still charge $1,000 for a freaking room. Why am I paying $1,000 for a room when I could just move out by myself? So okay,
Roommates
Huntress,
charge $1,000 for a room.
I promise you, if I should, I'm not even like being
Roommates
funny.
do? How the heck?
Yes, bro. Yes.
You're splitting it.
Yes, and they will still charge
Rent
$1,000 for a
$2,000
room.
a month.
Yes.
Wait, why would they charge you? That doesn't even make sense.
If they're saying that if you split it, then you're still paying $1,000. There is
Right.
no. It's still expensive. Like I'm not just at home because I'm just like, oh, la di da di da. I'm gonna live off my parents till I'm 95. Like no, I want to live alone. I want to have my little life too. But
I mean, no, look,
reality
let
of
me
it
tell you,
is,
I get it. I think personally, I think people should stay at home and save money so that they can buy their home cash or put a good amount of down payment on a house. That's what I believe is financially smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a rush to have kids run off or whatever. So I do understand you. What I'm saying is, if that's something that somebody wanted to do, they could. Like, there's a way to do it.
Yeah, it's always gonna be a way.
Yeah, but what
If
Yana
you
was
want to
saying is
make a
like,
way,
I
you can
literally
go down to the
cannot.
homeless shelter,
No, but
go
what
get
I'm
a job, stack your paper for 6
yes,
years,
what I'm
and
saying
go
is
put
I
down
was
240,000 for a house.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a way.
I was talking about Yana saying there's literally no way.
No, that's just to her standards. That's
Exactly. That's a boom.
I
There
don't
you
agree
go.
with. That's not
That's to
not
her
true.
standards.
It's
Yes,
not true.
oh that
If I
well,
even
Yana,
if
you
no,
tripping
my
because it is to
standard.
your
Listen,
standards.
that
If we're
is to
talking
your
about my
standards,
standard,
Yana.
it's not though. It's literally not. If we're
It
talking about my standard is going to be granite countertops. But I'm fully aware
right,
that I wouldn't
but
be able to afford that. Even if I bring my standard all the way down to hell, there is nothing in
You
my
would have to
area.
move out
There's
of your
so then I
area.
don't have a job. Like how does
No,
that work? You literally
you look for a
Yana,
job
Yana,
outside your what?
I
What you
mean, you
Yana,
can
mean?
travel
listen,
40,
Yana, listen. I'm gonna be
50
honest with you.
hour to
What the
work.
heck?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Yana. I hear what you're saying in terms of the economic standard that we're kind of facing right now, but the prices that you're even throwing up there are not even the worst prices in America. Like, and there are people still managing to do it in other states where it's even worse. Like, so I'm not saying like to say it's not like I don't know. I'm not saying that you don't think it's impossible, but like let me just say it right now. You said something about $900 for renting a 1 bedroom or $1,000 for renting a room, and that is just commonplace out here in LA. That's not even the worst of it.
Oh
right,
Like,
but
yeah,
your
come on,
you
minimum
know,
you
that
wage
can't
is
talk. You in LA.
$17. That's
We
not
all know what y'all go
comparable.
through.
Your minimum wage is $17 in LA. It
the
is
minimum wage in
$7.25
different parts.
here
You want to know
Do you
why it's
understand
$17
$17?
out here in
because the
LA?
price
$17
of
ain't
living
cheap.
is higher. I'm fully aware of that. What?
My point is that there are jobs that can provide those levels because there are jobs that still pay less than 17 out here that people will get. And the thing is, if your goal is to make a living and to afford an apartment and afford a place to live, your standards, your priorities start to shift to something else. Your priorities start to shift to, I'm getting a job that's going to pay me a salary that's going to help me live a certain lifestyle. But if you're on the mindset of, I'm looking for a specific type of career, then you're not just going to take any job for the sake of just living a certain lifestyle. You will end up sacrificing some luxuries for seeking the career, and that just is just part of you seeking a certain type of career. That's not trying to say that it's wrong for you to do that. Like some people choose to live in their car because they're waiting for the kind of career that they're looking for, right? That's something that people choose to do, but that's what they're willing to do to go seek their career. But they're prioritizing that career. They're not prioritizing trying to live a certain lifestyle. If you want to live in an apartment, if you want to live in certain areas, if you want to live with certain comfortabilities and certain luxuries, you give up certain things that you're going to need to, like certain career paths that you're going to do for you to prioritize different things in your life. That's just part
Right.
of it. So I think certain people want
I get what
to
you're saying.
have the job they want, and the job they want to give them the kind of money that they need to live the kind of lifestyles they want. But the reality is that's not always the case.
One day I'll move out and it won't
No,
be today.
no,
No,
what
you
you
don't
saying?
have to move
Hey,
out.
Yana.
Save your money. I
Yeah.
would say
So
leave
look,
When I am a dental hygienist making $75 an hour, this won't be
right,
a
you
conversation.
sacrificing right now, so it's cool. Trap.
But I
Yeah.
think the sacrifice is different at different stages. Like right now, I'm sacrificing time because I'm studying and I'm working. But other people are sacrificing what they want to do just so they can leave. I don't have to make that sacrifice.
Right.
Yeah, and there was a difference between what people were prioritizing back in different time periods than now. And back in different time periods, people were prioritizing being independent. They were prioritizing living on their own. They were prioritizing having their own space. It means the kind of jobs that they were going to take were going to be more about how much money they were making and less about the kind of job that they were doing. So that was a choice that they chose to make, and that may have led to them having jobs that were pretty crappy and not really well taken care of and a lot of struggles and all that stuff. Yeah, they chose that, but that's a choice though, right? Or they could have chose to follow the career path. Like these are just choices that people make. Now, there's a difference. There is 100% economic difference. Anybody who wants to argue back and forth that the economic restraints, the economic struggles that we go through now are different than the ones that are the same, that what happened 20, 30 years ago, that would be wrong. Just looking at the numbers, that would just be 100% wrong. But it is different because you do get different things that help move you forward to that path. Like you said, out here in LA, the rent's super high. The expenses of living are super high. However, we don't got to deal with weather out here. So there's that. You paying for premium weather out here. You don't got the snow. You don't got the extreme heat. You don't got the things that are beating up your car on a regular basis. So you got to pay. I'm sorry. Like, that's just it. So people who complain about, oh, it's so expensive in LA to live out here. Well, you got premium weather. You're not dealing with 4 seasons in every other state. That's just the price of living in that area. In New York, you living in New York, you got everything so close by you that you don't even really need a car. You can walk, everything's kind of in walking distance, but you got these really tiny, small apartments, and you living on top of people, on top of people, on top of people, on top of people. That's the cost. That's the thing you sacrifice to have the benefits of living in New York. And the benefits of where you're living, you get the lower rent, the lower this, lower that. But you have limitations on what kind of jobs you can have. You have limitations as to different areas that you can live in. You have limitations on what's accessible in your area. Those are all things that come with choice. And anybody can choose to move around the states and go where they want to go if they're willing to do the work and accept the struggle that comes with it.
And it's the same shit wherever you at. Like, I have lived in multiple different states. And I'm actually getting ready to move back out of Michigan because coming back was the dumbest shit ever. But you can go wherever you
Don't
want to
leave
go.
me.
Oh, no, I'm up out of here because I got to get the hell on. Like, the economy literally is terrible. Horrible. In Michigan, what? If you not staying in Detroit, you're fucked. You're paying $1,700-$1,800 for an apartment for anything that's decent. Now, if you want to go live in the hood, yeah, go ahead. Your car probably gonna get broken into, stolen. Yeah, something gonna happen to your shit. People gonna hit and run. You gotta worry about your house getting broken into. Don't have no nice shit.
I just don't understand how this is the whole basis of my conversation. 20 years ago, people could live off of their minimum wage jobs, even if it was two of them. If you have two minimum wage jobs stacked together, you could still afford to pay your car and your rent. I make way more than minimum wage, and I can't afford to do any of that, even if I chose the cheapest apartment in my area. So that's how.
What's your lifestyle looking like, Yana?
That was going to be my next
Like,
statement.
come on,
What kind of lifestyle are you living?
How much you spending on those lashes?
Nah, hers ain't
I'm
lashes.
free. I do my own
DoorDash.
lashes. I do my own nails. I do my own lashes. The only thing I pay for is my hair. My retwist is $80.
And you
That's
DoorDash
it.
everything to the crib, don't you?
I hate DoorDash. No, there's nothing on DoorDash.
What are
A
your
lot of
major expense? What are
Nah,
your
nah,
major
you spend
expenses,
something.
Yana?
When's the
I'm not
last
even
something.
gonna go at it.
When's
Like,
the last
what's your
time you did a
major?
budget?
What's your major expenses, Yana? What are your major expenses? What are the things that you pay for?
My car,
How much is your car?
$350.
$350 every month.
Mm-hmm.
And how much is your insurance? Because you definitely driving that thing with insurance because it's not paid off yet. You definitely had to have some insurance on that, right?
I have no clue how much my insurance is.
What?
See, I have no clue. I don't pay it. Next.
Oh, hell no.
Next
See,
question.
that's crazy.
Next question.
That's crazy. You don't even pay your insurance. All right. Well, I'm not going to judge you for that. You know, hey, good on you if you don't have to spend that kind of money. That's fantastic for you. Great for you. Happy for you. Okay. What other expenses do you got though?
I don't really have a lot of expenses. I don't.
The fact that
So
you
then how much money are you, how are you struggling?
the fact that you never actually had to
Wait,
sit
well,
down and do your budget.
no. The problem isn't that I'm struggling. I didn't say I was struggling.
We know you're
I'm
not
saying-
struggling, hon. We know
Yeah,
that.
I know. I'm glad. But I mean, the problem is not that I'm struggling. The problem is that even if I were to completely cut out any wants, that I still literally would not be able to afford with how much I make to move out, even if I chose the cheapest thing.
I don't know. I would have to look at how much you make.
And I make
Nah,
way over
cause
You
minimum
I
believe
don't
that.
know about
That's like you
that.
have
I don't know.
faith
I
in
can't
knowledge.
really trust that,
No,
Yana.
I'm
I
not
got.
saying what I'm
You
saying.
don't
No,
even
no.
believe that.
I do. Like, even when I go into my next job in the dental field, you have to be very careful with stuff like that because dental field, you don't work 5 days a week. You only work 4. So now it's like, okay, either I could stay in banking and move up where I know I'd be able to eventually afford something. But I'm not even speaking just on me either. Like,
Okay,
this is
so
a
basically,
general,
you
this is
make
just
a
a
lot.
general
You make
consensus.
a lot, but no, it's not. You make a lot, but you don't. You might not work as many hours.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so how much do you make,
For
Yana? Let's
real.
just
I
do this
mean, if
mathematically.
we
I'm
already
sorry, I gotta
here,
do this mathematically.
I'm
guys,
not.
we
I'm
I'm
not
sorry, I
talking.
can't. I gotta
no.
do this mathematically. Okay, how much do you make?
I'm not talking about me right now, y'all. I don't even want to talk
She
about
ain't
that
gonna
right
do it. Yana
She
knows.
ain't gonna
I
give it
don't
to her.
believe
Okay.
you.
Look,
now.
okay, let me
No, because
explain.
that's
Let me
personal. No.
I
okay,
know
let
it's
me
personal. I know you over there spending buku money somewhere.
I promise I'm not. I'm really not. There's not anything that I'm like,
But you say you make more like than
you say you make more than minimum wage and you
way
say
over
you
minimum
can't
wage.
afford the
Yeah.
least
way
of your
over minimum
apartments near you.
wage.
So
Mhm.
I'm confused because even out here making minimum wage, people find a way to still afford their apartments.
And that's
So
why I don't get it. Look, hold on. I got the handy dandy iPad out, y'all.
That's
Look.
the thing. You don't get it because you never had to do it.
there's
No,
there's
I'm even.
ways
I
when
want to, y'all. I don't want to be here forever. I want to go. Like, I like my parents; they're cool and all, but I'm an adult. I wanna be an adult.
okay.
I don't make minimum wage. If I am making what I like now, how much I make right this second, and it was 5 years ago, I'd be fine.
Yo, we don't even know. We speaking two
You
different
look, you
languages because we don't
without
even know how
your
much you make. Like,
look without you saying how much you make, and I'm not saying you have to tell us. You don't have to tell us. That's your personal stuff. But without you saying how much you make and being able to mathematically look on how you can live in an apartment that's $900 a month, I can't take you seriously. I'm sorry. Nothing you
Because there are no $900 a month apartments. If $900 apartments existed, then I would live in one. That's the
Okay,
point.
so what's the least expensive apartment that you could
you said
buy?
1,100.
1,100.
Bro.
Okay, still even with 1,100, bro. I'm sorry. Even with
Okay.
1,100. You
For
added like
real.
$200 more onto that. I'm not trying to. I'm
No,
really trying not
I'm
to
not
judge you,
being
but
funny, bro.
it's
I
very
promise you I'm
hard.
not being funny. I'm not being funny like at all. Hold on.
Girl, we understand that. We just don't understand
Okay.
how you're making well above minimum wage and feel like it's impossible for you to afford an apartment.
If I put for rent, okay, for rent,
Okay, you can
and I
keep showing
type
me
in
all the rent in the world. Unless I know how much you make, it don't.
27603, that's kind of where I live, not really. And if I filter it, this is what it looks like just upon results. This is what the price range is. I don't need all that. I
No,
don't
that's
need it.
regular,
Wait,
girl. That's
I get it.
shit. Let me
That
Bro,
was
get
that
my
looks
that.
nice for
that
12.
was
Hold
My
up a
God, let
second.
me
wait,
get that.
wait. That was my
That
next
looks nice for
statement.
12.
That's my next statement.
Oh,
I
where
don't
you
need
live
all of
at?
that. Okay, so now let's filter
I
it.
want that
Let's
for
go
12.
down.
Hold on a second.
Let's go down. Let's go down
Yo, I'm gonna
to.
have to move in your area. Cause
Yo,
Let's go
let me
down
get
to.
that for
Y'all
12.
aren't
what?
listening.
1,000?
Ain't no way, bro.
874.
Yo,
Hey, yo, that's
y'all.
making me so
Oh
mad right now.
Y'all aren't
my
listening.
God.
Rachel, please. This says student housing. You have to be a student at the college in order to even qualify for this. For $984 per room, and you don't have your own
Okay.
bathroom. You're sharing that. Let's click on this.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so nice for $1,000. I'm
Nah,
so
bro.
mad right now.
It really does. I'm like,
This
I'm
the
what?
so
hood.
mad.
Oh my gosh.
You need to stop showing me these. I'm about to come to that
Yana.
screen in a
This is
second.
someone's house. This is someone's bedroom that they're trying to rent out.
But
This is
you
also
just
student
chose that. You
living.
just skipped over that little 1,000 one. Because
This one,
Yana.
this is the hood. We used to live over here. These apartments used to be $722
Why you
2
skip
years
the
ago.
one? You skipped the ones that was decent. Like
But you know what it's like to no, I can't.
It's not a
that's
house.
crazy.
I
No, I'm
don't.
Yo,
sorry.
Yana, I was expecting 1,800. What the heck?
That was what showed. There's 32 results.
Okay, so Yana, let me just say, you are one person. You don't have kids. You
One
don't have a
person.
partner. So you just one person. You could probably find a place that is, if you wanted to have an apartment that was just you and a person living in there. What averagely wise, what would you say the average is for a person to live by themselves in a 1-bedroom apartment? What's the average cost?
For just the apartment or total monthly expenses?
Let's say the apartment first, then we'll move to monthly expenses, because that's kind of how you work in that space. You find the place to live, then you figure out how much your expenses are, and then you start cutting costs on your expenses in different areas. So first, how much would the apartment be? Give me the apartment first.
I say at minimum $1,000.
Okay, cool. $1,000, minimum $1,000 for an apartment. What are your expenses that you would also have to add on to that and factor into that?
Electric.
Okay,
Internet.
how much is an electric bill?
Hell if I know. I don't know that.
Okay, so as somebody who pays for an electric bill, your electric bill can run up to, if you run in every damn electric thing in your house, can run up to you about a $200 bill. So you probably not doing that. So you probably got maybe $100 on your electric bill max. So $100 on your bill.
Mm-hmm.
So now you at 1,100. Keep going.
Okay.
What else?
All right, we got internet. That's 100.
Okay, you don't need the fastest internet, but if you want the fastest, 100. Go ahead. Now
Okay.
you're at 1,200.
Okay, let's go back. I'll do the $50 plan.
Okay, I mean you can do the 100. I do the 100, but just saying.
Water, maybe
Okay.
45. You got to pay for garbage.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? 35 sometimes, depending on your complex.
Well, some places will bundle your water and your garbage into one bill, so sometimes you pay it all at once. So it's like maybe 100 as a whole, right? If you're doing a lot of garbage, a lot of water, you're taking a lot of shower, you're washing a lot of dishes, you know what I mean? So yeah, so go ahead, keep going though. You going. You're one person, so
I don't have a phone bill. Or I don't pay my phone bill.
My goodness, you stop. Hannah, I need you to stop right now. I'm about to come through that phone. I swear. say you don't pay for one more thing.
Oh my god.
Live, laugh, love. If it helps, no, it doesn't help. I'm not going to say that.
Thank you. Don't say
What
it.
what other bills are there? I don't know.
Okay. So there's some so you don't have all the information it takes to live on your own. And that's understandable because you haven't had to do it yet. And that's okay, right? No shame in that. No shame in that. If it's not necessary, you know, I'm not blaming you for putting yourself through it, right? But you see, we're roughly, even with all the things that you said, and even if we grant that you don't ever pay for anything else but your car and somebody else pays your phone and everything, you're still sitting at about 1,700 max. You personally, you one person, 1,700, right? Because I added your car note in there.
Groceries.
You're looking at about 17 max, or a little bit less than that. But I'll even grant like
Okay,
maybe.
but now we're okay with that. So groceries.
I factored in your groceries, but again, those are things that can change if you're smart about how you spend your money. But that's why I gave you the grace of like throwing in some extra costs in there. 1,700 is probably going to be your max. You are one person. So now I want to ask you, does the amount of money you bring in a month give you the ability to cover those costs?
The 1,700?
Yeah, the 1,700.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still have any leftover money?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you now see that it is possible for you to be able to do that if you wanted to?
But in this hypothetical world, where how much did you allot me for groceries? Because if you gave me $50, I'm not eating carrots and I'm not eating a carrot.
I didn't even give you $50. I added like something like 200, but go ahead. So
and then how much did you put in for my car payment?
I put the whole $350.
Okay. And then how much did we do we did 1,000 minimum for rent, and we literally just looked at Zillow and we just saw there was one property in all of the 50-mile radius.
Yana, I can push you up to 2,000. Do you have enough money? Do you make enough money to afford a $2,000 worth of expenses and still have money left over?
Maybe.
Okay, so you then in that scenario,
it's a playtime, yeah.
So in that scenario, you're fighting not to be able to do it. You're fighting to be able to do it and still have money left over to be able to do the things you want to do.
Maybe.
Okay, so
but I just went from full-time to part-time too, so that's part of it.
But still, now as somebody who has 3 kids, a wife, and my apartment is $2,150 out here in LA, and my money puts me at a point where I have enough money to be able to pay for all of our expenses, the 2 cars that we have, all of the internet, the gas, the water, the trash, the electricity. I have enough money when I work to cover all of our expenses, and I don't have enough money to do anything else unless I save. Now, if I do a little bit of overtime here and there, then if we have enough money to go do something fun at the end of the month. We are broke. We are not poor. There's a difference.
Okay.
All of our needs are taken care of. Everything that we live comfortably to the point where we don't have to worry about stuff, but we just do not have enough money to just go and spend our money on all the laps and luxuries that other people have.
Yeah.
That's where that responsibility comes in. It's understanding that you should not be pushing yourself to live above your means. You understand your means, you stay where you're at, and you save yourself some money to be able, and you plan yourself and set yourself up to be able to move forward going forward. And I think also on top of that, when you make money, don't just go straight to increasing your expenses as a whole either. Just because you got a little bit more money in your paycheck doesn't mean you buy the next expensive car that you have the ability to buy. You don't have to always increase your expenses just because you got a raise, a promotion, or got something that gave you a little bit more money. Sometimes it's better to still stay at your current state and save for a little bit later. So the whole point in saying this stuff is to let you know it is possible for people to do it. It is possible. And you're definitely possible for you to do it. But for you, it's not a priority for you to go seek that out yet. And you don't have, it doesn't have to be your priority. But because it's not a priority for you right now, that doesn't mean you can't be saying, oh, it's so impossible, people can't do it. No, people can, and they are doing it. It's just not your priority right now to go do it. And there's no shame in that. No shame in that. You comfortable, you're not paying for a whole lot. If I was living in your situation, I would be looking at somebody crazy if they tried to push me out of my parents' house and make me do all this stuff that I don't have to do yet. Y'all, I'll be looking at y'all all types of sideways. Like, excuse me?